and scores!
Great move by Davies. Well, this would be something. Oh! Ausgezeichnet!
Brian White chips, it'll make it!
Welcome back to another episode of Caps Cast presented by Whitecaps Fan TV. I am joined by my lovely co-host from Northern England, the lovely Damien.
Yeah, very happy to be here. I don't live in Northern England. I'm currently in Vancouver, obviously, but
I should say
reigning
from Northern England.
Yeah.
The site of the UFC this weekend in Manchester.
Yeah. Did you see the trick shot that what's he called? The British guy scored today.
No.
He was out for a jog, training for the UFC, and a couple of guys were playing basketball. He literally just shouts to him, throw me the ball, hits it on the volley from off the court, swerves through the air. You should see one of the guys' faces. It looks like he's just like, why the fuck has this dick kicked our ball away? Leon Edwards, yeah. Kicked our ball away. He kind of just goes, man, it fucking like slams in the fucking basket. On the other side of the court.
I'll be looking at that after.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's we are gonna look at the MLS and not the UFC. We could do a second show about the UFC if anyone wants. But anyways, we had a mixed emotion week for our beloved Whitecaps. We host Sporting Kansas City, and then we finish it off with the most emotionally draining game against Houston.
Yeah, I suppose let's jump into the Sporting game first.
Let's jump on in, and this honestly feels like a lifetime ago, because this condensed schedule, it really just, I think, put a lot of fatigue into the team. Sporting Kansas City. So we are at home and we line up very strong. I know we had talked about this last week on the episode, saying, do you think Vanny, maybe puts out some weaker lineups in order to save from fatigue? But no, he full on puts out the powerhouse lineup for the Kansas City game.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, the lineup, though, was, I think, arguably our strongest starting 11. The fact that you had Ahmed back in the squad and he was actually playing an advanced role and not having to rely on him getting back to defend, he was great. He had a couple of goals. Well, he should have had a couple of assists, but 2 goals disallowed off his assist. Just needs to release the ball a bit quicker. But his general play and his dribbling ability and everything, very, very solid performance from him, I thought.
That also could just be rust from him coming back from Copa America. He didn't
maybe
get that much game time in comparison to what he would have got elsewhere, if he had stayed and not been called up. So it could be just shaking off that rust. But yeah, I do agree. I liked Ali Ahmed in that left wing position. It allowed him to play more of that wing and not having to, track back. Kind of what we said is a bit of a weaker part is tracking back.
I think that formation in general of having the 2 wing backs in Raposo and I think it was Shop, right, who played on the left hand side.
Yeah.
So having them 2 as wing backs, I think Shop did a very, very good job actually on that side as well.
I feel like we've been pumping his tires a bit, and it is very well deserved.
Yeah, I think so as well. Actually, I think it was that game. I might be right. He finished the game with 100% accuracy on his passing. He had a really good game. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, that link up in the middle with him and Cubas has been quite nice. And then
1 second. I always said that when he has a good game, I will give him all the credit that he deserves.
Here we go, drum roll.
Vite has been good. I thought Vite was good for both games this week. But yeah, in the Sporting game, Vite was pretty good in the middle there with Kubas. I thought he did a very good job.
And like, I'm just gonna preface this too. We are nothing but supportive, but what we do on this podcast, we need to be critical because when the team isn't performing, we have to be critical. And that's in order to kind of explain our perspective. But I think at the end of the day, like, we will always be supportive of all the players in the 11.
Oh, yeah.
I know Vite and Fafa have been not in our targets, but I feel like we've been very critical of them. But we have to be.
Yeah, like they've honestly they hadn't been performing, and then if you look over the last couple of games here, Faf has been absolutely excellent. Vite has been brilliant in the center. Like, so the credit is there where it's like there when it's due, right? Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
we're gonna praise them when they deserve to be praised, and we're gonna say they were shit when they
We're shit.
need that as well. Yeah.
Just like anyone to us. Like, if we're shit, tell us we're shit. But if we're doing a good job, hey, you know?
Yeah. If you're gonna tell us that we're shit, make sure you tell Matt.
Yeah, tell me. Don't tell Damien. I take feedback a little bit better. Anyways, so we get the party started 34th minute. We have what looks to be a Brian White goal, but when me and you were standing there, you were like, nah, like, that's an own goal.
It was more White's reaction, really, because as he was like running into the net after the ball had gone in, he saw, like, you could see it in his face. He had his hands up, like, you could tell something was off. So, and it's a shame, really, because, like, the whole build up to that goal was fantastic. The ball in from Raposo, the step over from Gold, the 1-2 between, like, White and Gold. Excellent. It's just unfortunate.
Yeah, the build up was quite nice. And then nothing really, we kind of just coast into the half. I have noticed that we've been playing a bit higher of a press. Like, the formation that Vanny's been playing has allowed us to play higher as a press. And, nothing really happens. I do have an interesting stat here. And I'll need to credit our number one fan, Sean, for this, as he gave me a bit of a crib sheet for tonight. That Vancouver has the shortest goals from distance on average in the MLS, which averages out to 6 yards.
Wow. That's
so I think that really speaks volumes to Brian White finishing chances that are delivered to him. I think the creativity that the wingers and the midfielders kind of driving is allowing it's allowing us to finish from 6 yards out on average. And I mean, whatever. It's not like, we want to be 15 yards out. Like, we'll take it. I just thought that was a super interesting tidbit because it feels like that's kind of how our game has been, right? Is that Brian White's sort of playing this out and out striker and he's finishing all these chances.
Well, we have been getting a lot of balls into the box, but when you've got a player like Brian White who can win a lot of things in the air, like even on, what was it, Wednesday there, a lot of the long balls over the top, it doesn't matter who the centre-back is that he gets paired against, he is able to like muscle him out of the way. And his hold-up play and his ability to actually take them long balls down is incredible. I don't think there are many strikers in the league that are as good in the air as Brian White. So it sort of makes sense that we have a lot of balls being pinged in that way. But we're not really if realistically, Matt, if you were to like list players now who you would think, I trust them to be taking shots outside of the box, who would you say?
Like, from our current squad?
Yeah, our current squad, yeah.
I mean, I'd have to say Fafa just because that's what he has done.
See, mine would be Gold and Berhalter. They're the only two that I'd actually have confidence in if the ball comes to them outside the box, that they'd be able to like put a pretty decent effort on target. I think a lot of our players are very clinical inside the box. Like long shots, I don't think are really the forte in this team.
No, I would agree. I'm just trying to think back too. Like I think we're very spoiled that we have such clinical finishers.
Oh
Um
yeah,
and that like even in recent years, I don't even think have been any players in past teams that could finish like that outside the box.
no, I think maybe we had that. The midfielder a while back. Was it Morales?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
he could hit them
really,
from
really
outside the
digging
box.
out. You're really digging through the history books.
Yeah, yeah, that's just
But
one that comes to mind. There, I remember him like banging a few from outside the box.
yeah, he was good outside the box. He was good on set
Yeah,
pieces too. But no, I think
yeah,
you're right. Is that Gald and Bearhalter? I'd also throw Fafa in there. He's another player that
yeah,
we've been very critical of, but credit where credit's due because this man has stepped up over these last two games.
yeah. It was big time.
Um, and then so what happens is the 69th minute, Kansas equalize. Um, and it kind of just goes flat. One thing that I think is a bit more credit that we can talk about in this Houston game when we go over that one too is that I think in the past we're really used to the body language and the air being sucked out of the stadium.
Yeah,
I think as Whitecap supporters, when we go level, when we concede a goal, you feel that energy just like whoosh out of the stadium. And then luckily 6 minutes later, Fafa scores. The person we've been the most critical of. Him and Vite, I feel like we've been the most critical. But
yeah. For the goal there as well for Fafa, I do want to say like a massive, massive like shout out to Berhalter there because the ball into the box that he delivered was exceptional. Like
yeah.
honestly, one of the best balls in that I've seen this season from him. Like it was just right on the money.
And
Like
that's another
no better.
interesting tidbit that's been thrown my way by superfan Sean. Is that they said on the MLS broadcast that Berhalter's been working with ex NFL kickers for his set pieces, his crossing, and I think that's why we've seen his game elevated a lot more.
That's interesting. That's very interesting because yeah, I feel this. He got a few games last season, nothing major compared to this season, but I feel like he's really coming into the team, and I think it's a real duel at the moment because it's funny. He can partner Cubas in the middle, or he can actually play on that wing because he'll do both jobs. He'll get back and defend, and he's good enough to actually get forward and ping them balls in.
Yeah,
So he's kind of a luxury player in a way.
He's good to fill those gaps. Like he's good to fill the gap of the wing back, provide link up play, run into the midfield, kind of be all over the place. And I think he is going to be a big piece of this squad as we push through these next couple of months.
No, I feel like, yeah, I agree with that as well.
I also think Vanny's starting to like play a consistent 11, and Berhalter has been included in it too. Like right about now, like I mean, we are over halfway. I think 10 games left in the MLS season. But the 11 Vanny's picked has been very consistent each week now.
Yeah, man. Like I know we're saying that now, but I'm about to go off on Vanny about the team selection for
Let's do it.
the next game here. So yeah, we wrapped up that game. That was 2-1 anyway. We won that game 2-1.
Okay,
Very
and then
good result.
let's
Puts us up to fourth in the league.
before we close the book, anything left to say about this Kansas City game?
No, I do think even we did some interviews outside the stadium actually after the game, and a couple of people did point out that the first half was excellent. Like we were very good attacking. We had the 2 goals disallowed. The second half, I don't know if it was just like tiredness or thinking, you know what, we're a goal up, let's just see it out. It was, like you said, very lackluster, no energy in it until Kansas scored. And then as soon as they scored, it was like the Whitecaps turned back up. It was like, right, we need to do something.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Got the goal back. And then again, as soon as they got the goal back, just nothing.
Defended it, sat back.
Yeah. Gareth Southgate tactics.
And I do want to say thank you to everybody that we have interviewed.
Yeah, massive thank you.
A massive thank you. That's something I feel we're getting better at. The reception has been very, very, very well received. We've had a lot of thank yous on like TikTok and Instagram. So just a massive thank you to everyone that's supporting that, allowing us in these moments to like film them, and give genuine opinions and genuine takes. And I think it's just like good fun all around. So I do just want to plug and say a massive thank you to everyone, for that. But yes, let's close the book on the Sporting Kansas City game. And let's open the book. So Houston Dynamo. And I think this is one me and you were a little bit more excited for. I know I was looking at the week. I was like, okay, Kansas isn't that great in the standings. You know, I thought this game was going to be good. I was excited for this. But let's go on. You're going to rip apart Vanny here, and I'm excited for it.
I'm not going to rip apart. It's just more a little bit critical. So my thing is here, the game there against Spartan, we started with a back three of Labarda, Veselinovic, and Utvik, who I think were excellent. Like a very, very good back three. He then drops Labarda and brings Martins in, and makes Utvik swap sides as well. So that's to accommodate Martins. I think Martins has got a left foot, right? And can't really stick him on the right because he's going to struggle. So you move Utvik across, who's a little bit better on both feet. Okay, fair enough. This is where it gets a bit weird for me. So Ali Ahmed, who's just had a fantastic game against Kansas City, playing in that left wing forward role, he then throws him all the way to right wing back and sticks Berhalter on the left-hand side. These two players, like, literally play with the opposite foot. So Berhalter is a right foot, Ahmed is a left foot. So I get that he's like, I get this whole thing at the moment about inverted wing backs who cut inside, but I honestly think for this game against Houston Dynamo, it wasn't what we needed because their midfield swallowed us up at times.
Yeah.
And they were just cutting into it, and it was nothing we could do. So that was another one. And then he also played Fafa and Brian White as a two up top, as opposed to playing like White up top with Fafa one side and Gold the other side. So it made it more like it basically went from like a 3-4-3 to a 3-5-2.
Yeah. Because officially, it says that we lined up as a 3-4-3, but it did not feel like that. It did not look like that either.
No. So I don't really know what happened there. And I think, I don't know, I just think Brian White plays better when he is the focal point of the attack.
Yeah, I think he plays more of like an out-and-out striker. A target man, not part of this like three at the front system. Yeah.
Well, not, like even with a three at the front though, like if he's they're like the actual number 9 like target, the person
he's further
the ball
ahead.
Forward. But if he's got it almost with him playing Fafa and White up top, it almost pushes White too far to the side, and it takes him out of the box where he's most dangerous. I feel that's my opinion. Like I don't manage the club, man. Like who knows, right?
No, but it's true that like you kind of see it that like in the last game, Ahmed and Gold kind of lined up as the wingers, but they would have been like 15 yards back from where White was. You know what I mean? And like, the flow of the game, at least in the sporting game, was more of the left and right channels with Ahmed and Gald kind of feeding the ball in. But when he plays
Yeah.
with Fafa, I see what you mean. Like, I totally get that.
Yeah.
I think it's just because of how Fafa plays more than anything. And that's not like knocking Brian White. I think it's just Vanny not utilizing the formation correctly. And maybe not getting creative and maybe sticking Gald kind of as like a number 10.
Yeah, basically, right. That's kind of where he played him. He played him like almost in behind the two rather than out on the wing. And even Gold, I think he does the best. I think he does his best work when he's just sort of like given the ability to roam. Almost like I hate to say it because like it's not really a fair comparison, but it's almost like the Messi role where like he doesn't necessarily have a position on the pitch. He just goes where he is needed in the attacking play, but Gold does the defensive work as well. Like
Finds
Messi,
the space.
fucking romance.
Yeah, finds the space, gets creative. But I think Gald had a slow start.
Well, he got injured as well, right?
I was gonna say, and then you fucking jinxed it because saying, "Oh, he plays with a stump." Now he might be, but
No, I know. As soon as he got injured, I was looking at it as he went down, and I was like, "Fuck me, Matt's gonna say something about this," because like literally a couple of days, like
it's just funny.
I said the stump, and then I think the week before I was like, "Yeah, Ryan Gold doesn't get injured. He never gets injured. He's fucking like solid."
So, okay, 30 minutes in, he takes a knock on the knee, and then he goes off for the treatment during the stupidest rule that if you receive treatment on the pitch, you have to sit out 2 minutes, which is the most insane rule that the MLS has.
Yeah, it is. It's wild.
That's wild to me. So what happens is then he goes off for 2 minutes, and then we're down to 10 men, and then he comes back on and kind of just goes down again, and yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, silver lining to this. Now he doesn't participate in the MLS All-Star game.
Silver lining for us as selfish fans, for him, he probably wanted to participate. He probably wanted to go and like prove himself with the best players in the league, which it's got to be gutting for him, like not going there. But for us as fans, it gives him 2 weeks now, maybe of like rest and relaxation before the game against
LA.
Is it LA or Tijuana?
LA first, then Tijuana.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it gives us a break. It gives him a break, like an actual break to just relax, which is quite
funny.
nice.
It's kind of funny because the Whitecaps came out with a statement much later on in the day, but obviously the MLS is trying to promote the All-Star games. They have all these like all this footage on their social media of like all the players arriving, and I'm just sitting there looking. I'm like, oh, is he there? Is he there? Is he there? But then yeah, the Whitecaps come out with a statement saying he picked up a knock, won't be traveling to the MLS All-Star game, and an update later, which
Yeah.
I don't know how to feel about that, because you either know or you don't know.
Yeah.
Like, you can't tell me that our medical staff don't know what the hell's going on.
I don't know, like maybe he needs to go in for a CT or something. Maybe they just want to like be sure before they misdiagnose. Like, let's just hope that it's nothing serious.
Yeah, I think
like hiding it from us.
So I think this is me going down this like crazy tinfoil hat rabbit hole that we can all get on board if we want to really go for a deep dive. But yeah, I think the silver lining is he didn't leave the pitch immediately. When you see serious injuries, they're instantly in the tunnel. He sat. I don't know if he came out for the second half. I wasn't really paying attention because when we actually get into it, the game really kicked off.
It was an entertaining game, yeah.
But when he stayed for the first half on the bench, visibly upset. Who wouldn't be? I don't like I said, I don't know if he came out for the second half, but I think you're right that it shouldn't be anything too serious.
Yeah,
And I don't know, I've seen different posts on different Whitecap supporter pages saying that Vanny felt responsible, that he shouldn't have played him, he should have played him, like all this like kind of misleading information. So we don't really know what was going on.
yeah,
But I think, I mean, we've said it that this Houston game was probably the most important thing of
yeah.
the two games.
No, I agree with that. Yeah,
And one thing I will say is that like throughout the game, I feel like we just gave Houston way too much space. And I think you're right that our midfield and the selection by Vanny really allowed for
I
Houston
do
to take
think losing
advantage.
goals is a massive issue there as well, though, because like the work rate, you bring Raposo on for him. Raposo is very good. I like Raposo a lot, but it's not. You're not getting that like energy that you've got with Gold, where he will track somebody from basically the right wing all the way back to left back.
Yeah.
He's not bothered. Like he doesn't care that he's like the best player on the squad. Really, like he'll do the shitty work,
Yeah.
and you lose that when he's not on the pitch. And I think because with him not being on the pitch and him not doing that work, and the other players not seeing him do that work, maybe their effort drops just a little bit. Like it's just not the same, right? If you've not, I don't know, if you've not got your leader in front of you, like dragging you over a hill.
Someone needs to step up.
Yeah.
And I think this is something that I was looking for because I knew that like we would have something to talk about. And we can get to this later, but I want to preface this before we dive in, and maybe I'll ask it again, is who stepped up, right? So maybe let's chat about the game and let's come back to that question of who stepped up, because I think there's an obvious answer. I think instantly the obvious answer is Fafa, but I have a different answer.
So for me there, like as the game went, right? So basically we got the 2 goals down in the first half where, like we were letting Houston have way too much of the ball. We were almost showing them way too much respect on the ball, just not like getting into tackles, not like flying in. But Vanny changes a few things at halftime, which the sub that he made, both you and I kind of looked at each other and were like, what the hell is going on here? Because he brings Shop on for Martins. And then we're kind of like, so Shop's going to play at like centre back. And then Kubas drops into the middle of the 2 centre backs and lines up in between Veselinovic and Utvik. So at the time, both you and I were kind of like, this is like a bit
he's
risky.
Going crazy. Vanny's going crazy.
And one thing that I did notice as well, Matt, in that game, at half time when they come out, he'd swapped Berhalter and Ahmed around. So we actually had wingers on the side of the pitches that could actually run down and put balls into the box rather than trying to cut in onto the shooting foot, which I thought it was a very good substitution and a very good switch of tactics to do that. And it also meant Raposo was able to push out wide and be an actual winger at the front. And yeah, I thought for the second half he did a very good job, Vanny.
And also, this is another thing, and I know we said it in the last game, but when they came out for the second half, this wasn't this like, arms by their side, head down, like, okay, 45 minutes to go, and then we're going home, right?
Yeah.
It was like they ran out onto the pitch, they were ready to go. And I even said to you, I was like, if we score within 15 minutes, I think something's on. I think something's kicking off here.
Yeah.
Just the way they came on the pitch, I was like, okay, like they are motivated to go. And then sure enough, 48th minute, our hypercritical Fafa scores a goal.
Yeah. Good goal as well, like very good goal. Like did very well. He
great goal.
That was the game, right? Because there were 2 games so close there, I just get a bit confused. That was a game though where somebody flings the ball into the box, and did Fafa not go to chest it?
Yeah.
And we were both kind of like, what the hell is going on here? Why would he not go with his head?
No, that was I think that was the Sporting game.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, because the Sporting game is that happened. No, yeah, Fafa scores, in the 48th, and then you're sitting there like, okay, yeah, great.
It was a good goal. No, it was a good goal. Good light
No,
ball.
but I mean, just like in general, like, okay, only still 2 to go, right?
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah.
And
Still a merit
then
time.
yeah, right. It's still a hill to climb. Like, just
Yeah,
because you're only down 1 doesn't mean anything, really.
yeah.
And then Veselinovic finishes off the second goal to go draw level 2-2.
Very good header. Very good ball in from Fafa because he was like, I think Fafa, when he played that ball in, was inside the 18-yard box.
Yeah.
So to just get the height on it as well and to clip it in just to a dangerous area like that, like, yeah, and a good solid header from Bess. Just jumps in, throws his head right in there, doesn't care. Like, no danger.
No danger. And
I quite
then,
like Veselinovic.
and that's, next thing you know, Fafa again gets his second of the night with an assist in the 66th minute. So then BC Place is absolutely fucking rocking at that point.
Yeah, and BC Place is rocking, but so were the Caps, man. Like, we were attacking, we were on the front foot. Like, honest to God, I thought we were going to go on and score another, like, 1 or 2 goals in the game.
Well, we
Like,
should
we
have.
looked so good. And then,
We were flying. Like, we looked unbelievable.
yeah,
It was a totally different team. And I mean, as weird as this is to say, it almost looked like, did it need Gald in that moment? You know?
no,
That
the fair play to the squad as well, there, Matt. Actually, you're saying that to drag us back from 2 down without Gord on the pitch because
and this is
getting
so
over the psyche.
I think this is a good time to come back to that question: is who stepped up? And for me, it was Veselinovic. He was vocal. He was screaming instructions at everyone.
Yeah.
I think this, like, what do they call it? This, like, member or board of captains?
Oh, leadership group.
I think that really showed. Like, it might have sounded gimmicky at the beginning of the season, right? But I think
Yeah.
that showed in this game because I thought Veselinovic was the one who stepped up.
Yeah, I thought it was excellent. Actually, he had a very, very solid game there. Like, and that's, you don't often say that about a defender that's conceded 4 goals.
And I still want to give Fafa his flowers because this man, 2 goals and assists. It's a revenge game against one of his old teams. Like,
Yeah,
he was absolutely flying. Like, it just felt like he could do no wrong.
Yeah,
And
no, you're right.
then let's get to the heartbreak moment here.
See, we might have different takes on this, but the denial of a penalty,
Yeah.
which I genuinely thought that was a stonewall penalty. The defender has got nowhere near the ball. Fafa is in the box. He has knocked the ball away. And if the referee is trying to say in that situation, no, he's knocked the ball too far away, it's complete bullshit because he's knocked the ball that far because he's been absolutely fucking nailed by the defender. It should have been a penalty. We were on the front foot. And honestly, that decision there was...
that killed the game.
I think that cost us the game. In the long run, that has cost us the game. Because there was another decision in a minute, Matt. Like, this is where the refereeing and the bias against Canadian teams comes back into it and fucking, like, irks me so much. But so obviously they fucking then go on and score, right? But the goal itself that they score, we were stood maybe 25 yards away from the play when they got their throw in, right?
Yeah.
That throw in that they got should never have been their throw in. Their player knocks it past Sally Ahmed, who literally goes to pick the ball up. And meanwhile, while this is happening, the Whitecaps are in an attacking phase of play. So a lot of the Whitecaps players are in that final third thinking, Ahmed's going for the ball, is going to get it, we're going to, like, attack. Then, out of nowhere, they take a quick throw in, launch a diagonal ball across the pitch, and they score from the goal, from the throw-in, basically. It was, I think, 2 passes and a goal after that throw-in. The passage of play was no more than, I think, 18 seconds from them taking their throw-in to the ball going in the net. At what point is VAR meant to step in because there has been a clear and obvious error on the play that has led to a goal? Because they should have took that back and said, no, you've awarded a throw-in that has led to a fucking counter-attack that has directly led to a goal. The MLS is fucking corrupt when it comes to Canadian teams. It is so bad.
It was a clear miss. Clear fucking miss.
Yeah.
I don't know why you said we have different opinions, because I was sitting there saying that was a penalty. Like, first things first, I'm not sitting here saying that wasn't a penalty. Just want to clear that out of the way.
Mainly, that was more about the throw-in. Like, I didn't know if you'd like caught the throw-in the same way that I had there.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like the Fafa getting hammered in the 18-yard box. Like, no, to me that's a penalty. It's a fucking shocking decision.
Yeah.
I get on field he doesn't call a penalty because the ref's so fucking far back, right? But this is what VAR is. This isn't to re-referee the game, but it's to catch things that have been missed.
Yeah.
Sure enough, VAR catches it in this situation and sends him over to the monitor. When refs go over to the monitor, I don't know the statistic, but it is very likely
I'd say like 85% fucking done.
I was going to come in with 90%, but that seemed way too high. But that's, to me, like, when you go to the monitor, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, you are going to look at, you fucked up. You are going over to look at your mistake and be like, okay, yeah, I missed it. Let's correct it. For how long he sat looking at the monitor. So first of all, the ref's standing there for 3-4 minutes holding up play while VAR is going over this. Like, it was a while that they're going over this. And we're sat there being like, okay, they're reviewing it, they're holding it up. Then they flash VAR check, penalty, and they call the ref over. And I was like, that's it. Because when you call the ref over, that's it. And he comes on the fucking mic and says, oh, no foul, no penalty. It was like, what just the fuck? And like, they showed that again multiple times. I've seen that on like all of the recaps while prepping for this. And it's like, that is a fucking clear and obvious penalty to me.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Like,
it's fucking, I don't know. I honestly don't know what to say, because I feel like it happens way too much in the MLS that the Whitecaps get shit on. I think it's been maybe 3 times in the last 5 home games that the referee has been sent to look at the monitor and has come back each time and been like, oh yeah, no foul. And it has been 3 times when we should have had penalties.
Yeah.
I really do think there is a bias. Maybe it's because like it just doesn't attract as much revenue, like fucking having it on up here, because it's just not as many fans. But
and I mean, I agree that it does feel like a bias, but I also want to counterpoint and be like, if you're a Houston fan, you're like, that's not a penalty, But if you are, what I want to say is that like, it feels like a bias because we're watching it, but maybe this is happening elsewhere. And is this a bigger issue? Is this a bigger issue in the MLS reffing than it is? And it just so happens that we're experiencing the most of it, or feels like we're experiencing the most of it. But I agree. When you go to the monitor like that, that's a penalty.
I'll tell you what, on the next away game that the Whitecaps play, where we're not at the stadium, I will watch the Toronto game that weekend, providing that they play at home. Well, it doesn't matter, actually, providing they play anyone. Providing they don't play fucking Montreal, I will watch the Toronto game and the Montreal game
and see
and report back.
I just like, I'm curious, like, this is a whole different issue, is that like, I'm curious if this is just a lack of consistency of reffing in the MLS.
I think it's a lack of consistency in North and South America of the referees, because I really think in the Copa, they were very biased against the Canadian team in that.
Yeah.
Against Canada. Fucking Canadian team. Canada. The Canadian team.
The Canadian team.
Yeah, like, I really think there was a massive bias against them there. Even in, I think it was a Uruguay game though, Matt, when the fucking ball goes out of play, Canada on a counter-attack, they go to take a throw-in, and the Uruguay keeper knocks the ball out of his hands.
Well,
And
what's
there's
even
no, like, booking or anything, no card. The ref's just like, oh yeah, just go back to your net.
what's even
Oh,
worse
Anyway.
is the US Uruguay game when the ref went to card a Uruguayan player. He just looked at the ref, turned around, and they just kept playing, and the ref puts his card back in his pocket and runs back. And it's like, you didn't stop or hold up the play. Like, they just kept going.
That's wild, yeah. I don't know.
So-
I think there's a massive bias against
I
Canadian teams.
I mean, I'll come with the point of I'll always come as a counterpoint to you. I think that's what's going to keep our juices flowing. But I agree that's a fucking penalty all day.
Yeah.
And it completely sucks the energy out of the team. Because like you said, like within 30 seconds, Houston have scored. And there's no interjection either of the illegal throw that happened.
Yeah, which that to me is more wild than the penalty. Like, that is clear. The penalty, maybe it's not a clear and obvious error. Maybe the referee gets his own subjective view of it. But the ball hitting a fucking opposition player's leg and going out of play with no other touch, and then them directly scoring from that throw-in, that's a clear and obvious error on the play. That
And where's
needs to be reviewed.
VAR?
Yeah. Like, why
It's
are you
like-
fucking there to deny us penalties, but not to stop them from either, like, illegal goals, basically? It's...
And there was no
very,
hold up.
very-
I mean, if you were like, oh, they held up the play to check it, they're reviewing it, I would have been like, okay, maybe. But they just like straight away, it's like, okay, nope, back to the
Yeah,
mid.
in fact, did Ahmed get booked? Let me just check, because I think he might have protested it.
No, he didn't get booked.
No, he didn't, no. No, I thought he did, though.
But
no, he didn't.
Veselinovic gets booked in the 79th minute. Potentially.
You know what? That might have been it. I think
I
it was
think-
Vest that was protesting it, yeah.
Like, I think that's potentially it, right?
Yeah, I know one of them got booked for it, but still, like, even that, like, you've got the captain of a club coming over to you being like, yo, you need to go check your VAR. It should have been throw into us. You've, like, made a balls of it. And imagine being too fucking egotistical as a referee to actually say, yeah, I fucked up. I don't know.
Maybe we should just watch to see if this ref comes back to Vancouver or if he refs future games.
Well, let me have a look here. Give me a sec. This is like you said, we need fucking that guy who just pulls all the shit up for us.
Like, Jamie, pull it up.
Pull it up, yeah.
What are you looking for? I've got a bunch pulled up here.
Oh, you know what? I thought it'd tell me who the referee. I thought I had it on here who the referee was per game. but I don't
Fotis
know.
Bezikos. Fotis and then the last name Bazikos. So he's obviously a CONCACAF referee, right?
Yeah. Okay, I don't know. Anyway, not a big deal, I suppose. Like, at the end of the day,
Fuck 'em.
Yeah, it is what it is, right?
Is what it is. And then they fucking score a fourth goal.
Which, like you said, the team have just been basically sucker punched, and then next thing you know, they go up the other side. And what was it? I think there wasn't much in it, was it? It was like 10 minutes or something between the two goals. So the team's like heads already down, and then we're pushing forward again, trying to get an equalizer.
And to be fair, I'd rather
trying to get
concede pushing forward and trying to pull one back than what happened, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather them just be like, keep pushing at 3-3 when we're all sat level, trying to get that fourth, versus being like, okay, let's hang tight here. Let's just like see this out.
Well, yeah, especially after I get it, especially when you're the team would have felt like they've been cheated out of that third goal anyway.
Yeah, emotions are
So
high.
there's got to be that's got to be almost like a bit more of a push and a bit more of a motivation to go back and actually try and get the lead again. Which, yeah, I'm all for it. I am all for attacking football. It's just a shame that we were caught. And
Sucks
I
when
think
you're
it
on
was,
the wrong end.
yeah, just an unfortunate game. I think the result could have been avoided with better refereeing and better officiating. But
Welcome
also,
to the
one thing
MLS.
that I do want to say, being sat in the safe side as behind the net, the goalkeeper for Houston
Oh
Dynamo,
yeah,
Clark, God, he was. It reminded me a bit kind of like Emilio Martinez, Aston Villa in Argentina.
oh yeah.
But you've got maybe a fucking tenth of the talent, and the flexing that he's doing. I was like, this absolute
Man, a
twat.
10th. That seems a bit high.
Yeah, I think so. Like, what an absolute dickhead. Like, for all the safe siders there that were annoyed and worked up, yeah, rightfully so. Like, let's just hope that dick never comes back to Vancouver again.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that either. I was like, man, you conceded 3.
Yeah, like, it's not anything to be fucking over the moon about, is it? Do you know what I mean? Like, come on. Like, if you
Like you,
kept a clean sheet and then he was like flexing and like doing the big flexes and things, yeah, like, okay, giving shit back, but you've conceded 3. One of your goals shouldn't have been counted anyway. And you should have had a penalty given against you. Yeah.
16 shots, or sorry, 6 shots on goal, and the Whitecaps scored 3, meaning this guy saved 50% and he's running around flexing, thinking he's the shit.
Yeah.
Figure
That's
that
what I
one
mean,
out.
man. Like, just, yeah. Not a good person.
Well, so now we get a break. Anything else? Anything else for this Houston game besides heartbreak?
Just again, I thought in the middle there, like, I know our midfield did get like it up. I thought for the first like maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes there after the half time when we made that switch between bringing Shop into the middle and putting Cubas at the back. In that 30 minutes there, I thought the midfield was excellent. I thought Vite was very, very good in that midfield role, especially in the second half when he had a bit more control next to him with Shot.
Yeah.
I think, I hate to say it because I really like him as a player. I just think Cubas had a pretty bad game.
Yeah, he did. Gets carded in the 45th minute in like stoppage time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was kind of weird. Like, I know we were back and forth over what the hell the subs were going. Like, it just, and then at one point, Vanny had 5 attackers on, like really going for it. That's like my dream formation. My dream formation is 7 strikers. With just sheer high press attacking football. But Adekube comes on. I do want to touch on this. Adekube comes on. A little bit rusty, I would say. This is our first our first real good look at him since he picked up his injury. He was constantly calling for the ball, which is good to see,
Yeah.
I think if he can get his fitness back and his legs back, I think it is a good addition back to the squad.
So.
But
I think if he can figure out how to like cross the ball and without it landing in the keeper's hands as well, that'd be helpful.
Be great.
To the squad. Because I know he got the assist for Fafa's goal, so I don't want to be like too critical of him. But at the end of the day, when you put, I think it was 5 balls into the box and 4 of them go straight to the keeper, it's not good enough.
No, it was 3 to the keeper, 1 way over Ahmed's head, and then 1 onto Fafa.
Right, yeah. So like, but still, even 5 balls into the box, you should be at least having your team contest them. I'd say at least 3 out of 5.
Yeah. Maybe we'll see. It is. I think it's something me and you said last week is that this was a good opportunity for him to get minutes back, get fitness back. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
And I think we both answered our question then is who stepped up. Like, I feel Veselinovic did. He really ushered the squad back into it.
Yeah. Oh, one more thing that I do want to touch on there. Raposo, who usually, like we rarely do sing his praises, he finished that game with a passing accuracy of 54%.
Yeah.
Which it's not good enough, right? Even Ahmed's was under 70. And
I feel like everyone was kind of off, and we were just riding these waves and moments. Is that we had the two moments from like obviously Fafa scores 2 goals, but it's 2 moments, you know.
Yeah, you're right.
The Veselinovic goal, that's another moment in the game that nobody put in these like really good shifts. It was just a game of moments, and I think that's why we ended up conceding the 2 late goals.
Yeah, I think you're right though, Matt.
And Vanny scrambles, losing gold early, whether he was, not feeling great to begin with, like he did not look his best at the beginning. Like, there was a couple balls where both me and you were like, oh, we could expect better from Gold, but I don't know. It just feels like a fatigue thing.
Yeah.
Like it just feels like what? We've had so many games now, right? Like how many, like since we've started this podcast, it feels like we're almost on like 2 games a week. Like
I think so, yeah. It has been like something similar to that. It's been a bit crazy over the last couple of weeks because even when Copa America was on, it was like 2 games a week.
They're still going. Like they're still just, but now there's a huge break in the MLS. And I guess we can shut the book on this Houston Dynamo game. As an update in where we're sitting in the standings, we don't concede position. We just don't gain points.
Yeah, it's, I think over the last, 6 games, we've won 4, lost 2, which, not the worst record. And we've had some big games in there as well. So to say we're still 5th in the league, we've got a game in hand on both Portland and Minnesota, who are in the qualification playoffs at the moment.
I'm just looking too that
fucking south. We should be good.
Our lovely, lovely superfan Sean sent me a screenshot of the standings before the game. The only team that picked up points in front of us were the Galaxy and LAFC.
Which as much as it'd be nice to say we can contend with them and we're going to be up there like fighting for first and second. I really don't think we are. I think that's going to be more. We might get lucky, and we might just be able to catch up and challenge for third. But I think it's going to be challenging for third, not challenging for third, second, or first. You know what I mean? It's like which hopefully we get, because at the end of the day, the higher we are, the better our position for the playoffs.
The better seeding, we'll get home games. Because the top 4 get home field advantage.
Yeah, so we just need to knock Colorado out, which Colorado have got 2 games, have played 2 games more than us. So providing that we get a couple of good results there, we can go ahead of them by 3 points.
I think we do play Colorado a couple bit later on in the season too. Maybe,
nice.
Or I think we're actually we might be done against Colorado. So we're gonna need some help. We're gonna need some help from some friends to pick up those points.
I guess who have we got left now? LAFC, Austin, Dallas, San Jose Earthquakes, the Dynamo again, LA Galaxy, Portland Timbers, Seattle, Minnesota, and Real Salt Lake. See, that's shitty because the last even Minnesota though, like the last 5 teams that we play, even Dynamo, holy shit, man. The last 6 games that we play, they're
all in the mix.
Are fighting for like the playoffs and like top of the league.
We
everybody
don't
is fighting.
We don't have an easy run in
No. And then the other games that we play are freaking what? LAFC, the ones that we're kind of like not like really taking notice of, the LAFC, Austin, and FC Dallas. Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a run-in.
It's going to be good. League Cup, though, that kicks off. So MLS takes a break.
Yeah.
We've got this friendly versus Wrexham, which is kind of interesting. I was reading some. Just roll your eyes at that. I was reading some Reddit threads today about the Wrexham Bournemouth game in, was it California? Somewhere in California, maybe San Diego, and all the like thread was saying was just like it was a dead atmosphere. Like, you know, like typical friendly. I think people are billing this up to be a bit more than it is.
Yeah, I think people are expecting it to be like United or someone coming.
But even if United comes, they don't play an A squad. Like, it's not like you're going to see Mane or Bruno Fernandes.
Squad, like, yeah. People would still turn up. I'd turn up.
So I don't know. We'll see what happens with this Wrexham game. It's interesting. I'm curious. I'm curious what Vanny does. I'm actually very curious if Vanny plays a full lineup or if he just dials it back.
We're still debating about going, so maybe I'll shoot to the stadium and have a watch.
Yeah, I think maybe we might come down and chat to some lovely Wrexham fans. Be kind of interesting. Maybe get some perspective more on Vancouver and football. We'll see. It's 4:30. It's UFC that night. Who knows? Anyway, so League Cup. Don't want to hype us up going too much in case we don't. League Cup kicks off. We got two on the bounce. We got LAFC and Tijuana. I really like the League Cup. I'm excited for this to kick off. Yeah, I think it'll be cool. We made a run last year.
Yeah, I think this is my favorite competition that we enter. Like, I like the CONCACAF and stuff, but the League's Cup, I don't know. It's just nice that it's like right in the middle of the season and things. It gives you a break from regular MLS play. We seem to fucking get drawn against LAFC all the time.
All the time. Yeah, it was Galaxy last year, right? Galaxy.
Was it Galaxy last year? Oh, we beat them. It was I want to say club. No, I can't remember.
We did whatever. We did get through the group last year. Yeah, we did get through the group last year. It'll actually be interesting. I always like when the League Mex, is it called? How do you pronounce it? The Mexican teams come up. Their fans travel heavy.
Yeah, they do. They really take it seriously. It's quite nice. Even when they played Tigres at the Starlight Stadium, there was a massive contingent. I suppose as well, like there's quite a few Mexican fans probably living in Vancouver as well, so they've got a bit of a contingent here as well. Anyway,
it's a great league, right? Like it is like one of, I would say it is an elite league for North America. Yeah, so I'm excited. The Mexican fans travel heavy, and Tijuana is quite close to the United States border, so I assume it'll be a massive turnout.
Quite a big contingent coming up.
Yeah, so I'm excited for that. We'll be there for both games. I think we'll get through this group. I was looking, and it's kind of weird. The League Mex, I don't know how you pronounce it. They split their seasons up, so they have a winter league and a summer league.
Yeah, I saw that. It's weird, right?
Tijuana finished 16th in the Winter League and currently on 8th in the Summer League. I don't know too much about the team myself.
Yeah,
but
it's a difficult one because by all accounts, from everything that I'd read and everything that I'd heard, when Tigres come here and play, they should be like curb stomping us like 4 or 5-0. And we always have a good performance against them. So if we can get the same level of performance and same level of like motivation for this game, I think it's very winnable. I think it's very, very winnable.
Yeah, I think in the past I would have expected the Whitecaps to be a bit weaker against South American teams, but I think
Yeah.
that tide's really turning.
Yeah, me too. I
So
think once you take the salary cap off the league, it'll be done.
that'll come in our later episode. So I'm just trying to see what a potential knockout can be, but we need to get through the group. So top two
You basically
advance,
need a win and a draw.
win and a draw, 2 wins ideally.
Guarantees. Yeah.
So we're West 7. So West 7 would play. Oh god, this is all over the place. Holy shit. Okay. So if we can win, we're the West 7, right? Did I say?
Yeah.
This is all now this speculation tinfoil hat. So if we could win the group, we would play the runners up of Nashville, New England, or Mazatlan, which that'd be pretty cool. And then if we become the runner up, which I expect we would play the winners of Monterey, UNAM, or Austin FC.
Is it not Monterey that we beat?
Yeah, you're right. It is.
Yeah.
It is definitely Monterey. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's what we got. That's what we got coming up.
Yeah.
And I think we've covered all this week. So I think we might as well end it from here. Else we'll just go into some more rambling here. But
no, yeah, I think that was good.
So we'll sign off, and we will see you guys, I guess, potentially at the Wrexham game, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe we'll jump on after the Wrexham game Sunday, Monday, and do a quick one.
Yeah,
just
we'll do. I think for us, we'll do a preview of the League Cup.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe
because we got 2 games. Well. Yeah, we got 2 games to go through, so we'll do a preview. Maybe it won't be a long episode, but we'll do a short one for you.
Alrighty, perfect. That sounds good.
All right. Well, that's all from us. Take care, everyone. Yeah. Thanks for listening to another episode of Caps Cast presented by Whitecaps Fan TV. You can find us on Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram listed below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content.